Welcome to another episode of Into the Pot, the weekly show where I review different pieces of media, what they meant to me, and how they've changed and added flavor to the stew of my life. Today we're talking about Wuthering Heights, 2026 movie edition. As always, I'll start with a spoiler-free look at what I thought was good, then what I thought was bad, and finish off with the spoilers to discuss the themes and details that resonated with me. With that in mind, let's start off with the good. So, yes, you heard me. I watched Wuthering Heights. I have a lot of thoughts. So I like Emerald Fennel as a director. I have appreciated Promising Young Woman. I really like that movie. I think it was a good movie for the time that I watched it. I also like Saltburn. I don't vibe generally with everything about the movie, but I did enjoy that movie. And watching that experience was a good time. It was interesting. It was rich people problems, and I could do a whole video on that. But we're talking about Wuthering Heights, and to say the good, the cinematography was amazing. I think there was plenty of shots where I was like, dang, this is gorgeous. Like there was like a sheet of red and then, Jacob Elordi on his horse and you're like in the shadow and he's silhouetted. And I'm like, this is a gorgeous scene. And like the landscaping, being on those hills, being on the Wuthering Heights was like gorgeous. I was like, this is really nice. I think the costumes and set design was very interesting for a period piece, but I think they were done really well. It looks like they had a lot of fun making this movie, and it does show that on screen. I think it's gorgeous. I think looking at all of it was like, what the heck? Like you got Margot Robbie wearing the little hoops in her hair, looking like straight out of The Grinch as a Whoville resident, and everything was like, oh, this is very interesting. She's got such a Red Riding Hood look, and Jacob Elordi had that super long beard, and then he's like clean shaven in the end and stuff like that. So I think for what it was, the production was of quality. But that's all I could say about the good. So let's talk about the bad. And the bad thing, I don't know what they were attempting to do with this movie. I found it to be extremely shallow. And I'll cover the themes in my theme section. But the bad things that I did not like about it is that it didn't leave me with anything. In fact, I finished the movie and I was like, I'm okay. What was I supposed to take from it? Was this a tragic love story? It didn't feel like it. It felt like it had a tragic ending, but at the same time, like the love story was not really fleshed out, and most of the movie was boring. It was super indulgent. Like all the sort of sex scenes and the scenes that they portrayed that were like hypersexualized were just long and weird. Like, I don't know if they were trying to make it like sexy, but there was just so many times where I was like, ew, what are we doing here? And it kind of like reminded me of the bathtub scene in Saltburn where he licks the bathtub. And that's like, you're like, oh, and you're like, oh, this is a weird character dynamic. Oh, it gives you like a weird feeling. And it feels like they tried to take that and just brush it over the entire story of Wuthering Heights. And it didn't work because Wuthering Heights is a story, I'll talk about the themes later, but I think those scenes were just so indulgent and it made it feel like that's all that they wanted to do. They just wanted to dress pretty and do it, and the scenes like of Margot Robbie, doing her stuff and then Jacob Elordi putting that hand in his mouth. It's like, ew, like what? And like the length of time for the movie, 2 hours and 15 minutes of my life, you could have taken out a bunch of those scenes or truncated them at least. And you could have saved at least 15 minutes. It didn't have to go on that long. It didn't have to be as weird. I don't know what they were trying to do. There was no story of it. But it felt like they were just having fun. And it felt like I was just watching a group of film people just having a good time, making like a adaptation to, a revered book and just doing whatever the hell that they wanted. And it was like, it feels like you got your own inside group here, like you're not making this for the masses, you're making this for yourself. And there's nothing wrong with making an artwork for yourself. But now let's finally talk about those themes and the details that I will tell you all about with now spoilers. So Wuthering Heights is a story that is all about obsession. It is about obsession, how it hurts you, how you have generational trauma, how, the bitterness and cruelty of young and old men just translate to the younger generations. And Heathcliff, who's treated like a servant, has all this lingering trauma, and he's always of a lower class. He's typically, of darker skin tones, but they had to choose Jacob Elordi. But it was not present at all in the movie, especially because they don't even have the younger generation who sort of, quote unquote, like break the generational trauma cycle. It felt like the only theme that they were even remotely going for is the idea of obsession. And they were like, oh my God, she's married, but they're hooking up and they're doing it so much and they're doing it so much and they're doing it so much. It's like, okay, I understand that they're obsessed with each other, but like there was no conflict. When Margot Robbie's Kathy's husband gets the news, he's like, break it off with Jacob Elordi. And that has no consequences. She sees him like literally that night and the next day and the next day. And when she finally breaks it off, like Heathcliff just marries the sister, Isabella. And then all of a sudden, there's this weird dynamic where he's like, I will always love Kathy and I will never love you. You want to do this? And she's like, hell yeah. And you're like, okay, what the hell is this dynamic? Like, Isabella in this novel is supposed to be like, I could fix him. She's like that. I want to fix him. And then she realizes he's gone and I can't do this. Let me leave. But in this one, she's like, hell yeah, I'm on board. And like, I'm going to be a dog and be weird. And there's no point to it. Like, what are you doing? Like, well, what was this for? And I understand it's like, so that Kathy or like someone can intervene and he can see Kathy again. And it's like, it's not working, dude. Like, change something, like go there, right? Like do something. What all your sort of blockages for this relationship, or you're just yourself. Or it was Nellie, who's played by an Asian woman now, Hong Chow, who does a great job, but now it feels like she's the one to blame for not telling Kathy that, he was listening, or not giving Kathy the letters that Heathcliff is writing. And why is she made out to be the villain? That feels like she was obviously telling the story, but now it's like she's the antagonist. And let's be honest, if she had not intervened in that way, maybe they would have been together. And this whole like weird incestuous relationship that they had would have been done. And I think about it and I'm just like, you could say that the theme that they were going for is this obsession, and it just doesn't correlate. Like it doesn't make any sense. It felt like it just wanted to do whatever the hell that they wanted to do. That's why it's called Wuthering Heights in quotation marks. But it was just weird. It was just weird. And the theme of the obsession is just like not in there, like there's other themes in the book that you can get, but this one just, and like that scene where Margot Robbie's like looking down and she sees this, sex act happening and Heathcliff comes behind her and it's like, this is just, it's so long. Why is this like, it's just weird and I don't know what they were doing. That's all I can say. It's just like, I feel like I don't know what they were trying to pull. And it could have been good. That's the thing. Like, don't get me wrong. It had some potential. Emerald Fennel, good director. Margot Robbie, she's a good actress. I think she's too old for this role. I think both her and Jacob Elordi were too high profile. So it doesn't really feel, it was weird, My biggest takeaway from this movie is just, it's weird. It feels weird. And I did not like it. So much so that I'm going to give it one of my lowest scores. And it's tough because I will tell you all, I rate everything a 10 out of 10 while I'm watching it. And the score only goes down once I find things that I don't like about it. As opposed to the other way that people do it, where they rate it sort of like at a baseline of 5 or 0, and they're just like, everything that I feel like I like about it is there. And I take a very much like innocent till proven guilty approach. So going in, I was like, it's going to be 10 out of 10. And I left thinking this is a 2 out of 10. It's a bummer. It could have had potential. Charlie XCX made a whole album, which, just got good songs, but I don't, it's like, am I wrong? Like, tell me in the comments, what the hell do you like feel about this movie? Am I in the minority? Am I like, oh, I didn't get it, or like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, tell me. Like, I need to understand what the heck was going on with this. So there you have it. I gave you my thoughts and opinions about what Wuthering Heights meant to me. And now I want to hear what you all think about it down in the comments. Do you agree or disagree about my opinions and the general consensus about it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, consider dropping a like and subscribing for more. As always, check the links in the description for my main video essay channel and my Patreon to support the channel and recommend media for me to review next. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.